The Gemling boy
Looks so
is
strong.
effectively the Scion, and it's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10 for a person who doesn't know the ins and outs of the game, but I believe it's going to be like a 25 out of 10 once people like Einstein brain that class.
I feel like the webcam's worse now.
Once people figure it out, it's going to be the new Scion. It's going to be something where people just like break out the spreadsheets.
I liked Scion. I was not smart enough to make my own build, but the ones I saw were so very, like, well, outside of the Ourobots. Outside of Ourobot Scion, the builds I saw were very, like, fun and diverse.
Well, the problem with the Gemling Legionnaire is it's for to get the juice out of what I've seen of the Ascendancy, and I have seen the nodes. You need to know what you're doing ahead of time. It's definitely not an Ascendancy to go in blind to, because the nodes that you would take as a newer player or somebody who's never played the class before are really not offensively or defensively potential, and they're kind of just bait nodes. The really good nodes on him require a lot of like theory crafting and spreadsheeting and proper skill combination, and we still don't know how quality affects gems, so is 10% extra quality really that good? It's an Ascendancy node, but we've seen on Chronomancer and a couple of the other guys, there's some Ascendancy nodes that are leaving our heads scratching, that are just like, why is that? And that seems so weak for such a big point. We only get 8 of them. Why is this on there when like other Ascendancies have like the one on the Monk, the one on the Invoker that's just like evasion acts as Fizz reduction, evasion acts as armor. It's ridiculously strong. It's outrageously strong. If you know how to gear, Invoker is going to be like, he's the new Trickster. But, and then Infernalist, just like elemental like fire conversion. Like her first node is basically, yeah, you take like 38% less damage overall. So this is just nuts.
What are the chances that the issues are only while I'm sitting on this main menu screen, and once we actually get into game, they'll be better?
Very little.
Yeah. Oh, it's because of the water detail level, I bet, and all this rain. That made it even worse. Okay, well, we might have to go webcamless, because I'm not gonna not play this game.
I would judge you heavily if webcam was your deciding factor to PoE 2.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I would question your decision making in life.
Oh, it crashed that too?
Oh dear. Infernalist Blood Major Titan. Ziff, you're a weirdo. I would love to recommend you something, but you're kind of a weird ball, so I don't know. If you're going Infernalist, I would say go melee Infernalist and don't do Demon Mommy. That's the only suggestion I would make on that one, because the Demon Mommy is completely broken right now, so don't, as a warning to everybody, don't do the Demon Mom. It's literally bugged, don't choose it.
Okay.
Like, that was something that they put out there. Like, it's currently bugged and not acting as it's supposed to act. The demon form does not use the damage of your equipped weapon, which dramatically loses it. That's where your stats come from.
Right.
So, like, yeah, you're strong, because you get, like, a 4x multiplier on all your output damage and cast speed. But if you're not gaining the benefits of your weapon and you're only gaining from your tree, you're going to be weak. As cool as it is, I can't wait for it to get figured out, because Demon Mommy looks cool. And if you're going Infernalist, take the doggo. Even if you can't pet it, which is not confirmed yet, take the doggo, because it's literally free 20% less damage overall, which is stupid as an Ascendancy node. Just ridiculous. And it ignites things. It's not just like you take 80% of all damage, it also ignites things around you. It's just dumb. That's gonna get nerfed 1 billion%. Blood Mage looks really strong. I think a lot of people are. I think Blood Mage is gonna get the code cracked pretty early. Mind over Matter does not work with Infernal Pact, Aizuno, because Infernal Flame is not mana. Okay. It says your mana is replaced by Infernal Flame.
Yeah, so isn't
it's the same? It's the same for the Dark Monk. So if you're playing as the Chonk and you have Spirit bonuses, those don't count because he doesn't have Spirit.
Oh, I'm very worried about this game crashing. Yeah, sorry about that, Demi. It took me a second. Because I wanted to have my music playing in the background when I didn't have the main menu up, and then I opened the main menu and forgot about it because I was
doesn't replace it. Things. Is that how it's worked? Is that how it's removed and you gain darkness? I mean, we'll see. Chonk is a weird boy. He's either going to be the most busted thing in the game, or he's going to be underpowered and people will need to like properly skill him to get the most out of him, but that's one of the ones where like half of the nodes I'm like, why are those there? Pathfinder's the same way, like why are some of those nodes there? Like we have 5 different concoctions now, but there's 4 points dedicated to just poison on the tree. Like it's just, it feels weird. Especially considering how strong the Deadeye Ascendancy tree is. Which is why you're a little freaking chump if you play Deadeye. You might as well play PoE 1 at that point. It's the same damn class. Except Tailwind's stronger, so it's even better. I don't think it's been confirmed yet if you can take bar shot and long shot both like you could in PoE 1 because they're not passive 3 points anymore, they're ascendancy points.
How can my encoder be overloaded if I've got so much headroom? Ah well. We'll have to see. If the game runs like I'll have to like turn off 4 things in the background, but again, we're not gonna not stream this, so What's the over under? Who's placing bets on when we can actually get into game?
I mean, they said they posted a thing like only like an hour ago that was like, yeah, we're having some issues at the back end. It might be a short delay, so I'm expecting like at least a 45-minute just for the delay, but I don't know if anybody's gotten in yet.
I doubt it. Usually it's like the second you can get in, you're able to jump into the queue. Granted, the queue could be absolutely insane.
Well, it looks like everybody's still on the menu, just spam clicking. Oh, not everybody. Oh, yeah, it's everybody. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Ziggy, he debated me. He has a video of PoE 1 playing, but he's not playing PoE 2. He debated me.
Wow.
How dare him. I'm just excited to get my ass handed to me.
Yeah. I watched almost nothing of the playtests, and only like a tiny bit of what was the interview? I literally can't remember any of the names of the main people, and it makes me feel bad because I absolutely
was it just like the showcase, the Jonathan Rogers, like
the showcase with the one of the Japanese leads where they were both trying to play duo, and it was
yeah, from the LA event. I didn't watch that one, but yeah, they were doing a co-op test or multiplayer test,
Yes, they were.
showcase.
And that was about all of the
I think that
actual
was-
playtime I watched?
Wasn't that the PlayStation one? They weren't even playing on PC at that one, were they?
I have no idea, because again, I only saw like bits and pieces of it while watching like a short, like, this is the news for Path of Exile in the last week. What? Why did you make that noise? Oh. You had me worried. I slapped the button instantly.
Well, it is being talked up as, unless you're lucky with gear, it's
gonna be difficult.
supposedly very hard.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm down. It'll
And a
make
lot
up
of that
for it.
has to do with just the overall changes to how they were able to animate things. PoE 1, as lovely as it is and as fun as I have with that game, and as good as I think it still to this day looks for being so old, its combat was dated. So this one, it allowed them to do a lot more with, like, I mean, you're not going to be just like frost blinking all over the place. You're going to be dodge rolling and bobbing and weaving and circle strafing and
Oh.
Dark Souls and
Right. So the dodge roll, I heard it gives you iframes against everything except for area of effect attacks. Like, it's not a huge iframe window, but from what I've heard, that's the only thing that you cannot iframe through is area of effect stuff will always hit.
It's the start of the roll. So it's not the full thing.
Right.
It's like the first, I don't know, probably 60% of the animation would be my guess for iframes. And then yeah, it prevents, it effectively acts as a dodge for on hit effects. I don't actually think it dodges dots or AoE.
Gotcha.
So like ground degens I think still work.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I consider ground stuff as an AoE too. But yeah, that makes...
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was everything other than AoE or projectiles aside from AoE. Do you know if it also affects like melee close range?
Yeah, I think it's just any on hit, anything that acts as a hit. Spells, attacks, bosses, auto attacks, shaper swipes. Well, this is a good time as any to ask both chats as well as Madi, while we're waiting to launch into the first experience of PoE 2, who's your favorite character in PoE 1? Not your player character. Who's your favorite character in the story / lore / mythos of the game?
See, I'm not super deep into the mythos. I would like to learn more, but outside of like watching a Warhammer 40k style 10-hour long video, it's really hard to just piece together Path of Exile lore on your own.
Kitten Cat Noodle on YouTube.
Is it like slightly shorter form content, or is it going to be watch 5 hours?
She basically does like an hour-long video that covers like she does like an hour-long video minimum, sometimes less, sometimes depending on the content of the league. But she has one that's for acts 1 through 5. She has one that's 5 through 10. She has one for pretty much every league since she started doing it. Some character she has specific videos, just like a deep dive into just Shaper. She has one on him.
Cool. I would say from both the little bits I know and just general personality, I think Nico's a pretty cool guy. I enjoyed my delving with Nico telling me all about the darkness and his funny
He's
hands.
a little goofball. Yeah, he's got no hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a problem of his.
He has no hands, but he must mine.
Maven or Cirrus? Aylward says Maven or Cirrus. I love Cirrus so much. I adore that man. He's such a good villain, but he's not I couldn't put him as my favorite just because I don't think his full potential was actually captured. The final battle, like him destroying Oriath, is like the coolest event in Path of Exile's like gameplay history. It's just like amazing, and like It's what caused Zana to go into exile. Like, there's so many things that spin off of Cirrus himself. But overall, if I were to compare like the three pillars of like Cirrus, Venarius, and Valdo, Venarius is still the coolest of the three from like a lore perspective, because he's just literally a mad scientist. And then Maven,